Hello, welcome back to YCFT, the show where we talk about movies.
Just movies.
Just movies.
Yep, all kinds of movies.
All kinds. Big, small, scary, not scary.
Not
Mainly
so scary.
This week we're talking about one of the most 80s movies of all time that came out in 1990.
Yes, yeah.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah. I love
Now,
this film.
You do. Before this, it's actually debated. It was debated at the time whether or not it was a horror movie.
Yeah, the advertisers, when it was released, they really struggled with how to market this. They didn't know if it was more of a comedy. They didn't know if it was more of a horror. So in the end, they coined the phrase a thrillomedy. Thriller/comedy, which unusually didn't stick around.
It didn't. No.
Strange.
Because it's different in terms of it's a monster movie without a monster.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
It plays on our irrational fear of tiny spiders.
Tiny, tiny spiders.
I mean, there was one decent
there's
size.
the big daddy.
Basically, the film started an expedition
Yes, there's a scientific expedition in Venezuela
in Venezuela.
where a new deadly species of spiders is discovered by Julian Sands, who is the head of this expedition. He's a scientist, and it kills one of the members on the expedition, and the little bastard hitches a ride in the coffin back to California, this tiny little town in California.
Yeah, where he is from. Because they find this little microclimate, don't they?
Yes. Yeah.
And who is the lead in this film?
The lead is played by Jeff Daniels, the legend Jeff Daniels, who I
He
love
is-
in this.
He has moved to this new town.
Canaima in California.
Yes.
He's a doctor.
With the promise of taking over the practitioner of the aging local doctor.
Who's like, should be dead.
He should be dead.
He's like, should not be
Decides
working.
when he gets there that he doesn't want to retire, so he has to start his own practice with no patients.
Imagine if that
I'd be
happened though.
furious.
I'd be fucking furious. Yeah, they've moved from San Francisco, they've sold their house, they've just altered their entire life based on the promise that this old codger is going to retire. And then he gets there and he's like, no, I've changed my mind actually.
So this spider makes its way into town
It does.
and starts mating with local house spiders.
It gets it on with a little domestic spider.
Yeah, and
And they get a lot of babies.
get this new species of very deadly but regular sized house spider,
Yes.
which their bite is lethal.
The bite is
A
very
big part of
lethal.
this is that the original Doctor is very set in his ways.
There's very much of old versus
An
new.
old versus stranger coming into town from the big city.
Yeah.
Old medicine versus new medicine, new tech versus old tech. And the Doctor also gets blamed for one of the kills for changing medication of someone.
Yes. They
So they start calling him Dr. Death.
They start calling him Dr. Death because a lot of the patients he looks at, they unfortunately they end up being killed by the spider. So yeah, he gets a bit of a reputation around town.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the old fuddy-duddy doctor who's very set in his ways. He doesn't grant autopsies because he doesn't believe in autopsies. He thinks it's, I assume he's very religious. You get the very the idiot policeman who's very like anti-Jeff Daniels, anti like city boy, like
boys.
college education kind of guy.
Anti-education.
Yeah, he basically is because he has a go at him for like, oh, were you educated at Harvard or something like that? Like he doesn't. Again, old and new and city versus country. It's like it's a big thing in this film. But you get a fun cast of characters.
You do. And my all-time favourite in this film is John Goodman.
I think he's everyone's
as the
favourite.
exterminator. In fact, he has his own little theme when he comes in.
Delbert McClintock.
Which is a great name. He's just, I can never tell. I've watched this film twice now, and I can't tell if he's actually good at what he does or not.
No. No, I think he's the worst exterminator that there's ever been. But he's fantastic.
He is, and he's a breath of fresh air in this movie.
Yes.
Because monster movies traditionally like to have, I'm going to compare it to Eight-Legged Freaks, which is the only other spider movie that I can think of off the top of my head. They like to go bigger.
Yes.
Give them some noises that they make them more violent. These, we have this, like, what do they call the big spider? Like, he had a name on set, didn't he?
Big Bob.
Big Bob. He is a very big spider. Like,
it's fucking huge, guys.
He's probably about yay big, I'm going to say.
Yay big?
Yay big?
Yay big? I'd say it's probably like width with his legs the size of Fugs, so just for reference.
Just for reference.
Imagine that crawling towards you.
Yeah, even Jeff Daniels said he was freaked out by the
Oh,
Big
he
Bob.
was. Yeah.
But the regular house spiders are about this big.
Yeah. So actually, just on that,
So it plays on that fear that we have of spiders.
Of spiders, real spiders were used in this film.
They're
aside
Canadian.
from Big Bob,
They were Canadian spiders, weren't they?
they were Australian.
Australian.
The Delana spiders or the social huntsman spiders, yeah, they were shipped in from Australia. They were used. So basically, the director of this movie also is Frank Marshall, who is part of Amblin Entertainment. He worked a lot with Steven Spielberg. He's married to Kathleen Kennedy. Very much part of the big Amblin family.
He hasn't directed that many films, but he also went on to direct a film called Congo, which I really like.
He did. You know, one of the reasons he thinks he was hired for this role as director, because he'd worked a lot with Steven on movies with animals.
Yeah.
He'd worked on all the Indiana Jones movies. And obviously Raiders, you got snakes.
Yeah.
Frank Marshall was great with snakes. Second one, you got all the creepy crawlies. He was absolutely fine with that. And then the third one, what was in the third one? The third Indiana Jones movie? Like the
Rats.
The rats.
Rats.
Yeah, the rats. And he second unit directed on all those films. So Marshall was very comfortable with working with animals. So he thinks that was always a reason why he was probably chosen for this. But yeah, the Delana spiders were chosen because they're totally harmless to humans. But also Frank Marshall, he put them through what he called an Olympics course. He tested lots of different species of spider, getting them to do different things. And this particular species was like, it won out. I don't know exactly what he got them to do.
I suppose you want to be able to like try and direct them as best you can.
Well, it's yeah.
Yeah, because of border control, they couldn't bring the spiders back to Australia.
No, they were stuck in America. I don't know what happened to them, but they were treated very well on set. Not one spider casualty on this set.
That's pretty impressive because there's a lot of spiders.
There's a lot of spiders. Obviously, you cannot train a spider. So what the filmmakers would do is they would manipulate temperatures on the set. They would, if the spiders were in one particular place, they would make it hot. So then the spiders would obviously want to scurry away to somewhere that was a little bit cooler, and that's how they would manipulate.
That's really cool. I did not know that.
It's very cool, isn't it?
I'm hoping you're going to bring out some good facts in this one.
I hope so.
I'm not going to know about.
I hope so. So yeah, it does play on obviously our fears of spiders. There's a lot of phobics out there, and Jeff Daniels is one of them in this film as well. He has
massive fear of spiders,
petrified of them
because of an encounter he had with just a regular house spider when he was a kid.
When he was a kid, it crawled across his leg.
Yeah, because one character, I'm not going to spoil who gets killed off.
Yeah.
But one of my all-time fears is a spider being in a shoe.
Yeah, it's in a slipper.
Because one, it's like there's a football player and it's in his helmet.
Yeah.
But it's like always check your shoes, guys. Always. You never know what's in your shoes.
Always check. There's a spider as we speak in our bathroom right now, but we don't know where he's gone.
I don't know where he's gone. He's massive, and he actually is massive.
Yes.
I don't know how something that big can hide.
Yeah, well, I don't know. But yeah,
but I will burn this place to the ground.
You go in scorched earth.
Yeah,
you adopted a scorched earth policy.
I'm gonna be Rowan Atkinson in Man v Bee. If anyone's watched that yet.
Okay, just for reference, I am now officially the spider catcher in this flat.
Because
your policy is to kill them. My policy is to set them free.
If I kill them, then it's a warning.
It's a warning. It's a warning to the others.
I'm the John Goodman here.
No. Never kill a spider. Always try and set them free. Always.
They come back. Be John Goodman.
No.
There's a lot of fun to be had. I think a lot of the characters are very charming.
It's so rewatchable. Yeah. This movie is just so infinitely rewatchable.
I know they are doing Amblin Films have paired up with Atomic Monster, which is James Wan's production company, to do the fact that Amblin are involved. I really like. Our big thing is we don't want it to be CG spiders. I feel like there'll be a mixture of CG and practical.
No.
Like, maybe you could increase the scale of the spiders by having CG in the background. But this, it's like apart from Big Bob, who is obviously a puppet.
Partly a puppet.
Partly puppet, animatronic.
No, they actually had a massive tarantula. They had I can't remember the name of it, but they did have a big boy, who was
big boy
who was used for certain scenes.
But from walking, I imagine.
Yes, but in the final showdown, with Jeff Daniels,
in his wine cellar.
Yeah, where both of them take a bit of a battering, Big Bob and Jeff Daniels. They used a puppet. But yeah, a real tarantula was actually used for certain walking.
You'd have to be a certain type of person to work on this film.
Interestingly, all of the cast, when they were hired, the question came up, how are you with spiders? And all of them said absolutely fine. Jeff Daniels said, yeah, fine, absolutely fine. But in interviews, he said, the little guys, the Delana spiders, not a problem. But when he was doing the basement scene, and Big Bob is there. Not the puppet, but the actual spider. The spider wrangler, or whatever job that is, I guess, the wrangler.
Spider wrangler.
He says, like, Jeff...
The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man! This is a literal Spider-Man. He was like, right, Jeff, just so you know, if I'm going to be keeping an eye on him all the time, so if he does anything, I'm going to be on that spider. So don't worry, I'm not going to let anything happen. And Jeff Daniels is lying there in position like, yeah, but he is harmless, right? And the guy's like, yeah. But don't worry, because I will be there to pounce on him. And poor Jeff Daniels is lying there like, why do you need to do this? Because apparently, as harmless as he was, he could still give a nasty bite, which the guy said was equivalent to like a bee sting. Mm. So harmless, but still you could get a nasty bite from them. Yeah. Yeah, and spiders obviously scare easily, so... Yeah. Thankfully there was an actual Spider-Man for that scene.
Yeah, but I do love the practical element. It's works. Wonderful. It does work so well.
It's why I
There's actually very few scenes that have a lot of spiders in them.
Yeah, that's true.
So I imagine the house was a soundstage.
I would imagine so, yeah. It gets wrecked quite a bit as well.
It gets wrecked, but I imagine just for content... Because... Again, quarantine, you can't just let this foreign species of spider escape out into the wild. No,
they were looked after very well, the spiders, yeah. And like, there's behind the scenes that I've found of, after every take, you've got about a team of like 10 people just picking the spiders gently and putting them into like a little glass container and like taking them away one by one. So the spiders were handled very, very well. Yeah. Which again, with this remake, it's, clearly it wasn't too much of a problem to work with real spiders. Yeah. Over 300 were shipped. So I hope that they will use real ones.
Yeah, I don't mind a mixture of real and CG. Yeah. Because can you imagine, like I said before, the scale you could do by using CG?
Exactly.
But for the up close, I would really like some real spiders and some puppetry. Yeah. But if Amblin are involved in it, I feel like they'll want to protect the realness of it.
I know we're not going to go into who is killed, but should we talk a little bit in more detail about like the circumstances of a lot of the kills in this? So one guy is killed on the expedition. One spider crawls into his his tent.
Big Bob.
That is Big Bob.
That is Big Bob.
That is Big Bob. We get one spider when we're in California that's hiding in a lampshade, and as a character goes to switch off the light. Yeah. There we go. A kid is killed on the football field. Hiding in
There's one close call in a shower.
That's my worst one.
That's my worst fear.
That's my worst one. Girl having a shower and, as the water's dripping, she doesn't realise that there's also there's a creepy crawly just drizzling down. We get spiders hiding on a toilet in this film, which scared... Apparently that's the one that gets the most people. Yeah. A lot of people started checking their toilets after this film came out. One is hiding in a slipper. And the one that gets me... especially is the one that's hiding in a bowl of popcorn. That couple, that married couple.
Yeah. Which I love those two.
I have a feeling that that's you and me in like 50 years, and we're just going to dive into a bowl of popcorn, and fucking Big Bob is going to be there, and then that's it. It's game over.
What? I don't leave my popcorn unattended for that long.
I also don't think we put popcorn in a bowl, do we? We just kind of eat it from the bag.
No, we do. We're civilized.
When was the last time we did that? I can't remember, but we'll triple check next time. It's a tribute to old B movies and creature features from the
I don't
past.
think the film is particularly scary.
No.
In a traditional sense. There's no like jump scares. Its fear comes in the fact that like that irrational fear. Spiders, you can see spiders every day.
We see them every day.
And there's just something, for a lot of people, there's just something very unsettling about them. They move so strangely.
I think it's the fact we know that they are in this country anyway. We know that they are harmless, like a common house spider, whatever. It's purely the way they look. We just cannot get over
that fight or flight thing.
Eight-legged freak. Yeah. And also they move fast.
I do fucking love eight-legged freaks, and I want to do that one day.
We will.
It's one of the most stupid and illogical, but that is the ultimate modern day. I say modern day, it's like 20 years old. But B movie.
Spiders are harmless, but we cannot get past the physicality of them. I don't mind spiders. Like I don't have a fear of them personally, but I'll admit if I woke up one morning and one was just on my pillow staring at me in the face, I would fucking freak the fuck out. But that's just because I'm not expecting it. Yeah. But as I said, I don't like to harm them. But yeah, it is a genuine fear. Interestingly, there have been comparisons of this movie to Jaws. Frank Marshall has even said that Jaws was a big inspiration. Because I guess in that movie, obviously, you've got Brody, the main character, who has a fear of the water.
So it's also to an extent because we don't really see a lot of Big Bob.
You don't? No, he's there. You see the occasional big hairy leg.
Yeah, or we see a lot of Bob POV.
Oh, we do. We get spider vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's an amazing shot near the end where you just see a close-up of all his eyes, 16 eyes.
I love. That's my favourite shot in the whole film.
It's so cool.
It's a great puppet. That must have. I imagine that was a bigature.
Probably, yeah. I mean, the Big Bob puppet.
A big miniature.
Big miniature. Yeah.
Not quite life size, but it's a big miniature.
But
it's a really cool shot.
It is. And it's I do kind of see the Jaws comparisons, because obviously in that movie you've got the main character who has a phobia of a particular thing, and then he ultimately has to conquer that fear. And it's the same thing with Jeff Daniels. Overarching fear of spiders, only to face
a giant spider.
A fucking gigantic spider.
Very one bite and you are dead type spider.
Yes. Stakes are high.
Stakes are in this remake that's coming. What one character? If they would, I don't want it to be like a sequel. I want if they're going to straight up remake it. There's one character you can pick from the original film to have a cameo, and who's it going to be?
Oh, Goodman.
Yeah. Not even there's no comparison. It has to be John Goodman.
I want Goodman. He gets his moment at the end.
I feel like if they have an exterminator company in it, if at some point they go to the office and he's just there, I'd be very happy. But I want there to be a new exterminator as well.
I just fucking love that moment where he's just he's in his hazmat suit almost, and he's got all his gadgets. He just steps out of the van, rock and roll.
I love
it starts spraying all.
Well, I love when he sprays the one that he finds, and it just keeps getting up. So he's just like, I'm just going to stand on you. John Goodman is a bit of a treasure. His films had such an impact on me growing up. But the roles he's had later on, because I really love him as a villain in 12 Cloverfield Lane. This character that
he's a great actor.
This character that has played so many childhood roles to then suddenly play this really sinister character.
Do you that scene where he crushes Spider? Do you want to know how they did that? Apparently, how they did that.
Yeah,
found some trivia.
I'm not know. Yeah, tell me.
So it's a real spider that he sees, and he sprays it. Obviously, it's implied that it's some kind of poisonous gas or something like that. It's not. It is just water. So the spider's okay. Obviously, spider keeps coming back. So then, he goes over and he just crushes it with his shoe. To make it look as real as possible, it was a real spider, but there was a hole in Goodman's shoe on the under part of his shoe, so the spider would just go into the hole.
That's really cool.
And then obviously they cut away to then just seeing a crushed, made-up spider that they did, but they were very meticulous with
not killing any spiders.
About not killing any spiders.
This must be Peter's favourite film.
Probably, yeah.
No, but I like that. If you're going to bring these creatures in,
look after them.
You got to look after them.
Got to look after them. And they have their own theme song.
The spiders. They do, don't they? They do have their own theme song.
It plays at the end credits. It's called Don't Bug Me by Jimmy Buffett. And it's sung from the spider's point of view. There's literal lyrics of, don't bug me, I'm better left alone. Let me twirl in my world, in the great unknown. It's actually really catchy.
It is.
It's so great. It's just...
But...
I love this film.
In the context of these movies, these spiders needed to die, otherwise they were going to kill probably most of America.
They did. I mean, you could, if they were ever going to do a sequel, which obviously they didn't, but you could have done it, I guess, where one of the baby spiders ends up hitches a ride back to San Francisco with Jeff Daniels and his wife, and then it's just spiders let loose in the city in San Francisco. I do like how it ends, actually. I know it's a bit of a spoiler, but they're back in San Francisco, the big city that they wanted to escape from to the country in the first place. And there's a massive earthquake tremor.
Yeah.
Just very much, out of the frying pan.
Into the fire.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. What else is there to say about this movie? Oh, budget was $22 million. Box office was $53.2 million.
So did okay.
Yeah, it was the very first film that was produced by Hollywood Pictures, which ultimately went defunct. But it's still, people are very nostalgic for this film.
Yeah. It's little on the scares, but it's full of heart and unease, I think is the best way. There's a creepiness to it. But again, it's like you have such like likable characters to back up
do.
that you generally you don't want to see get hurt.
No, exactly. I mean, Jeff Daniels is just such a cool everyday kind of guy. He's got 2 kids. He's got his wife.
Down on his luck a bit.
Bit down on his luck. Yeah.
Likes his wine. I do like his
red wine.
I like his expensive wine that he eventually has to use to fend. He has to sacrifice his wine to save himself.
Not the chateau.
Not the chateau. Like, that scene always kind of reminds me of Shaun of the Dead when they're looking through the vinyls of which ones to throw.
The Batman soundtrack.
Chuck it.
Throw it.
That's the first album I ever bought. I don't know what, it just reminded me of that. It's like some stuff's okay to go, some stuff is absolutely not.
We can sacrifice. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just an interesting fact I found. 18% of people in the UK have arachnophobia. 18%. To me, that's quite high.
That is quite high.
That's quite. I don't know how they gather that stats. I don't know. Like all these surveys I find for different stuff, it's like I wasn't asked.
I think like,
how do they know that stat is conclusive?
I know,
I'm not sure.
How like to what extent? Like, because I wouldn't say I'm scared of spiders. I just don't want them around.
Don't want them around.
Although I appreciate we need them because they eat bugs.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people who have like pet spiders, like big spiders. I'm like, oh, I watched Eight-Legged Freaks too much. I couldn't do that. I saw what happened to Joshua in that film.
I couldn't have a tarantula for the fact that you have to feed them live bugs, and I would not be okay with that.
Mm.
That would, I'd feel a bit guilty, but I do appreciate that they have to eat.
Was there a catering service for the spiders on this film?
Yeah,
because I assume they were like crew.
Yeah.
Like cast and crew.
There is, they had their own trailer and everything. Do you remember the crow kill? Like near the beginning of the film. Oh,
yeah.
It's when the spider gets out of the coffin in the mortuary and he's just kind of like looking around, and then a crow or a big bird comes and picks up the spider, and we see it from the crow's point of view. We're flying in the sky, and then the crow just drops down dead. Adds to the kill count.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think if I just had to describe this movie, I said it before, but it's just rewatchable. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's just rewatchable and fun.
It is. It's just...
I've watched it. It's another one you introduced me to. I watched it twice. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and part of it is...
Does it beat out Eight-Legged Freaks for me, though? It's a better... Undoubtedly, it's a better movie. But I'm going to watch Eight-Legged Freaks more.
See, I don't have...
Because of nostalgia.
I don't have that nostalgia for Eight-Legged Freaks.
Eight-Legged Freaks is stupid.
Yeah.
This, like I said, is a way better produced film. Better acted. It's just a better film.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to nostalgia for this.
Yeah.
And I will rewatch this. It could be one that I put on like once a year.
I love it. I do literally watch it once
the spiders,
a year.
like these small ones they use, they are actually, like, I know they picked them for like their look and the way they moved it. They are actually kind of cute.
They are quite cute.
Because they're very, like, obviously in the UK we will never see a spider that looks like that.
No, exactly. And one of their nicknames is the social huntsman. So obviously if you think of a big huntsman spider, it's fucking massive, but these ones are called the social huntsman, so I think it must mean that generally they are quite friendly spiders. Like, they like to socialise together. I don't know.
Because most spiders are carnivores.
Yes.
And I don't think they are.
I don't think they are. They were picked mainly because they are totally harmless.
Yeah. Don't want to eat in their co-workers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas that one spider does that trick really well. Oh, Phil ate him.
I know. Bloody Phil.
Spider hotel for them.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining a little buffet comes out, right? We got some crickets for you today.
Probably looked after better than the cast and crew, like the main cast and crew.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do also like John Goodman when he was interviewed, and he says, "Oh, we get on pretty well, me and the spiders. Like, we see each other eye to eye. My 2 to their 16.
That's a great line.
It's great.
What's Jeff Daniels one's like? I'm not prepared for spiders, but when Big Bob's staring down on you, it's a bit unnerving.
It will be, yeah. Again, just like being in his position, and that spider angler's like, oh, okay, I'm here, Jeff. I'm here, so don't worry.
What?
Instantly, with the worry level just rising and rising.
Probably added to the performance.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very fun film.
It is. It is.
I don't know if it's streaming on anything. It's probably on Prime.
I don't know. I've got it on DVD. That's how we watched it.
Yeah. So even if you're afraid of spiders, you will get a lot of enjoyment out of this. And it'll probably add to your experience, to be honest.
Obviously, it was released in 1990, so like in terms of the look and the general feel of the movie, you get that like very late 80s hit.
Where somehow... Because his wife's an ex-stockbroker, isn't she?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really mentioned much. We've had settlement money.
Yeah.
So whatever reason, she's had to leave her job. Obviously, he's moved. So this down on their luck couple have obviously sold their house and moved. Have still managed to get a really nice house in the countryside in America.
Yeah.
Very 90s.
That's the thing.
Or any couple that's down on the luck seem to have massive houses.
Yeah, it's like 7 bedrooms with a barn.
Yeah.
Just land. Every single house that you see in this film is just beautiful. Yeah. Like these massive.
The worst
Victorian
things always
houses.
happen in small town.
They do. But I love small town stuff. You get really interesting characters, and obviously because it's very condensed.
Yeah.
Again, it just kind of adds to that feeling of stakes are high. So yeah, I love this movie. I will rewatch it again very soon.
Yeah.
Just to get that hit.
I want to do more creature. I don't even know if I can call this a creature feature.
Is this our first, technically?
I think it is our first creature feature.
Like
Monsterish movie. I want to do more. There's a lot that I haven't seen. There's a lot I want to say. Obviously, I want to do Eight-Legged Freaks.
We'll cover Eight-Legged Freaks. We'll go around all the
even
animals.
like Tremors. Tremors is a creature feature.
Tremors
I really want to talk about. I want to talk about every Tremors film.
Oh look, I mean we're gonna do Jaws.
Jaws
is a creature feature. 100%.
Very much a horror movie as well.
I'd
say Jaws is more of a horror movie than
movie.
Arachnophobia.
Jaws is scarier.
Yeah.
Jaws
there's more of a horror element to it.
There's more of an intention to scare you, I think, than Arachnophobia has.
Yeah.
Or Arachnophobia.
What rating does this one have? Like,
I think it's only a PG.
Yeah, because there's actually like no blood in it or anything.
No, not really. No. That's true.
Yeah, but Jaws does.
Jaws, the blood quota in Jaws is
so
quite
to me,
high.
this is a more accessible film than Jaws is.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. Check it out. If you like spiders, you'll be fine with it. If you don't like spiders, you might actually get more of a scary experience.
Confront that fear.
Out of it. Confront that fear.
Just every time you see a spider, just think of John Goodman in this film. Think of Delbert McClintock.
Delbert McClintock. I keep forgetting that's what his name is because he's just John Goodman to me.
It's just John Goodman, yeah.
Just that theme is just... I might play us out to that theme if I
can.
Yeah,
please do.
If YouTube allows it, I might change the end song to that theme. So thank you guys, and we will see you next week.